Welcome to Game Nights with JR. I'm JR, and these are our March featured games. These are all of the games that are going to be set up and ready to play at any of our game nights that you come to in March of 2026. And this month we have more events than ever. I think we're up to 10 this month, and that includes some new venues that we're very excited about. It includes some really cool game demos that I'll tell you about more in a minute, and karaoke is back on the calendar because you demanded. I was going to say asked, but that's not true. You demanded for it. So it's back. So anyway, we've got tons of cool events, but I want to show you first and foremost the featured games. Since March is when spring really hits us in full force, all of these games are, vaguely somewhat spring themed. So first up, is Kites. Kites is a fun, short little game that I think it'll play up to 6 actually, but you are all working together to put on a kite show, and you're doing that by turning little sand timers. So each different color of kite is a different color of sand, and you're flipping them to show that the kites are still flying. So you're working together to play cards to be able to flip certain timers and keep them in the air, and you lose if any of the timers runs out of sand, and the metaphorical kite it represents crashes into the ground. This game tends to get shouty. It also tends to be one where you snatch defeat from the jaws of victory and immediately want to play again to redeem yourself. So it's a great little short game, good for warming up or good for taking a break between longer games. It's a lot of fun. It's super easy to learn, and it's relatively unique as far as gameplay goes. So I think you'll really dig Kites, especially if you've never gotten to play it before. Next up is a beautiful game from Allplay called River Valley Glassworks. This one is not dissimilar to Azul, which I know many of you rightfully love, but in this one you are getting glass out of a river. So it's a drafting game, much like Azul, and a placement game, much like Azul, but there's a little more player interaction in this one, and there's also like a way different placement and scoring mechanics. So you get to play as adorable little woodland critters that are trying to develop the most efficient glass making engine. And yeah, really cool components, gorgeous board, pretty art, and a little bit heavier theme than Azul, which is very abstract. Yeah, but I think you'll really dig this one. It's tactily very pleasing. It looks beautiful on the table, and again, it's really easy to learn, and it's short enough that you'll probably want to play it a couple of times, because it is definitely one of those that until you've gone through the scoring process one time, at least for me, it takes playing through once to really get a handle on how I want to start the game out. So River Valley Glassworks, I think you'll dig it. Rewild South America is one of the newer games I've gotten, and it's from the Triceratops folks, who always make games that are not only really beautiful, but also have some learning component. And in this case, it's what it looks like to rehabilitate deforested habitats. So you're playing in South America, you're collecting a ton of different animals, and you're placing them in their various habitats, which could be on the jungle floor or in the trees or in the very tree tops. One of the cool things about this game is it has some 3D trees that you put on the board, and if you can earn the animal that lives in the treetops, you actually get a little wooden meeple to put on top of the tree to show that you have that animal. So it's a card collection game. It's very much like kind of a cross between set collection and engine building. Again, the art is gorgeous. It's all these really cool, unique animals, and you get to learn about their habitats, how they live together in an ecosystem, and then of course you want to claim the most animals in the treetops as well, because they're just so adorable. So yeah, beautiful table presence, tactile and satisfying components, and some clever gameplay makes this an easy win for me. Next up is another hit that we've had in spring themes past. It is Garden Guests. This is along the lines of like a checkers or a chess type game, where you are trying to attract colonies of beetles to your garden. In this game, you're playing as a team of 2 against other teams of 2. I think it plays probably the most satisfyingly at 2 versus 2, but if you really want to ratchet up the chaos, you can go 2v2v2, and wow, does that get bloodthirsty. The way this game plays is really unique. It's got a clever card playing mechanism, and it doesn't allow table talk, which adds a whole new layer to it. So it's a really cool game. It's, again, very easy to learn. It's fun to get on the table, and it is one of those games where one wrong play can cost you and your partner the game. So you'll probably want to play again just to redeem yourself if that happens to be the case, or to cement your status as the ultimate guardian in the case that you just keep winning. Next up is one of the games that we have the privilege to play test. It is a game called River Rush. And yeah, this is the box that it came in. I got this at Board Game Geek Con from the designer Luke, who has been there demoing this game the last couple of years, and we've gotten to be buds. And so when I told him about our group, he was ecstatic to have us play test. So this is a game, you can see it's gorgeous. There's lots of fun, cool fish art on it, and you're going fishing. So you're in a river, you're trying to navigate a river that's constantly changing and flowing. So there are some really fun screw with your neighbor mechanics. There's a lot of set collection going on. You're trying to optimize based on the different ways the fish score when they interact with each other. It's really cool. And again, pretty short, pretty easy to learn. So I'm excited to have this one. This one will be on the table at all of our March game nights. So you'll have an opportunity to play test this one. We would love to get your feedback and to be able to send to Luke. We'll probably get some pictures of people playing it and stuff like that as well. Because yeah, this is going to be a great, fun, light game for the group. And I can't wait to see how people react to this one. And, hopefully we can help get it in the hands of game night groups across the country. So River Rush coming to March game nights with JR. Now, as you know, at Game Nights with JR, we are primarily funded by our patrons. And one of the perks that all of our patrons get, regardless of the tier, is being able to vote on a player's choice game each month. And so this month, we had 3 options for them, and it was a dead heat all the way through. Now, one of the games is Amanda's favorite, so I thought about weighing it in favor of that, but I decided instead of that, because both of these games are great, and because it was a dead tie, even with all the votes tallied, we would just bring both of them. They may not both be set up every single time, but they'll both be there. I think they're both great games, and they're pretty different from each other and from anything else that's on the table this month, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. The first one is one we've had at a previous game night. It's called Living Forest. Now, this did win Game of the Year in 2022, and rightfully so. This is a deck builder where you're all competing to save the forest from these like fire creatures that are trying to attack, but basically you're drafting, or well, actually you're buying cards, and you're making choices about whether you're earning, the currency. I was going to say money, but I think in this it's something like spirit or whatever, because it's like all thematic and whatever. But you're earning the currency to purchase the critters, or you're trying to save up and get different trees that give you different powers. And, it's a lot about choices. And if you make a choice to do one thing, it means you can't do the other thing, and maybe that's going to end up costing you the game. There's also multiple ways to get to the victory conditions, and so it's really easy for you to be so focused on your own goals that you miss that the person across the table from you was swooping through and snatching it from you. So this is a cool game. Again, beautiful art, easy to learn, super fun to play. It is probably a medium length game and one of the more strategy heavy ones that we have this month. So you folks that enjoy that more are definitely going to check out Living Forest, but I'd be surprised if there are too many people that don't like it. After all, it did win Game of the Year. Last up is the game Spirits of the Forest. This is the one that is one of Amanda's all-time favorite games, and it's partly, I think, because it's so simple and beautiful. It's also really elegant and fun to play. This game is one where you're collecting sets of tiles that are the various spirits of the forest, and there are lots of rules that govern how that works. But you're trying to collect the best set of them to get the highest combinations of colors to score points. And I just wanted to show you some of these components because, again, I think that's one of the reasons this thing really shines. So these are little eggs each person has in their player color that you can use to like reserve a tile and make sure that other people don't get it if you want, which can be a really fun strategic move. And of course, there's ways to combat that. It's just pricey. And then these are the tiles themselves. You can see that they're really chunky. They have the really bright colors on them with the different animal spirits that represent the various spirits of the forest. So they're very tactile. They're very nice to hold, to pick up off the table and collect. They stack really nicely. And again, it just makes for a really satisfying game. These could have easily just been cards or cardboard, but I think by taking the time to make them these kind of clacky tokens really elevated the gameplay in a way that you don't really appreciate until you've been into the game a little bit and you realize just like how rewarding and satisfying it feels to pick these things up. So this is Spirits of the Forest, and don't take it my word for it. Take it from Amanda and the other patrons who voted for this. You're definitely going to play this one. Last up, and this is not technically a featured game for March, but we do have the unique opportunity to partner with IV Studios to debut a Kickstarter for the newest expansion of their game, Fractured Skies. So this is a game that's probably a little more complex than we usually feature at our regular game nights. However, because the Kickstarter has just launched, IV Studios has invited us to be one of their Dallas hubs for debuting the Kickstarter. So we have a one night only on Sunday, March 8th, where we are going to have a bunch of copies of this set up and you can play through them. I'll have several teachers there on hand who will be able to teach you the game, show you the ins and outs of it, and we'll have the 4 mini expansions that are in the Awakenings Kickstarter that's live right now that you can play test and see what you think of them. You can play with all of them, you can play with one of them, you can mix and match, and we'll have enough copies that we can do a bunch of that on that afternoon. Now, it is a limited event. We already have the RSVPs full. However, you can join the wait list, and they actually have another small box game in this universe called Soar that's going to be there as well. And so if you're waiting for a turn at one of the Fractured Sky tables, you can absolutely be playing Soar or any of the other small games that we'll bring along to kind of keep us busy in between the big box games. And again, this is only going to be at that event. This is, again, a more complicated and heavy game than we tend to feature at our regular game nights. But if you'd like to be a part of spreading the word about this really cool game and the cool expansions, you can join us for that event. And if you want more details, check the description for this video, or you can also go to our meetup at meetup.com/game nights with JR and check out the event details there. There you have it. Those are the feature games that are going to be here this March. Again, we have more events than ever before and some very cool new opportunities. And if you've been checking the newsletter or the calendar, you can see a bunch more stuff coming up, including our first ever 12 Hours of Board Games event in May. Watch for more details about tickets on that soon. And then, of course, we always have to say thank you to our patrons who make this possible. If you'd like to be an insider at Game Nights with JR, including getting exclusive gaming invites and even chances to win free game giveaways and things like that, you should absolutely check out patreon.com/game nights JR and become part of our inner circle, because that's where we really do get to have the most fun. Thanks so much. Let me know in the comments which game you're most excited to play in March, and we'll see you at our game nights soon.